had this thought come across my mind because I am so sick and tired of the constant battle between spirituality and religion, right? And let's talk about it, because most folks be so religious that they have no spiritual connection with God. Literally. There's no other way for me to break that down but for you to rewind that back and run it back. Play that back. Play back what I just said. Because a lot of the judgment that is passed on spiritual beings is not godlike. It's very ungodlike. And to me, that is a result of religious beliefs. Whereas you have become so consumed with the way of being that you have been conditioned to believe that it becomes a point where your connection with direct spirit and direct to God becomes null and void. I'm going to follow that up with an example. I gotta follow up with an example, baby. I need something for my lips because they is getting crusty and my lip gloss is almost out. I love this little Wet n Wild little I use that thing to death, okay? But the thing about it, just to continue on with what I was saying, is I am a spiritual being. And so I actually said that to a person that I feel that I'm more spiritual than religious. And they were like, well, how is that? Like, you're going to combat me. And that's number one of the problems. We were given all of these religions that were able to assist in the agenda of division. And if we actually took the time to just step back from the conditioning and the programming for 1 second, maybe a little longer than a second, but you get the gist of where I'm going with it, right? If we just step away from that for a second and step into reality, step into our true beliefs and who we are at our true core, right? And we begin to explore, which is what I did. And I'm only speaking, this is for entertainment purposes only, and I'm only speaking from experience. Me personally, I became curious when I began my spiritual journey. And I began to just do research about different beliefs and different religions and different customs and different cultures, right? And it sparked something else within me that is just like, hey, when you really think about it and you really come to truly realize we have a lot in common. We actually have a lot of the same beliefs. We actually have a lot of things that are alike. But those things that make us different are what causes us to judge. And that is when we have strayed away from God and God's ways. And Michael Jackson said it best. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Really and truly. We all need to start with the man in the mirror and ask him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that what? Change. Hey, la la la, na 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 na. Okay? Start with self, right? We are not placing the blame on our parents. Our parents did the best that they could with what they had and what they knew. And a lot of our parents right now, today, have an issue with taking accountability. Have an issue with our rebellion. And it's not rebellion. We may be the new rebels because you know, we are awakening, and we are actually the generation that can make a change, can do something different. We have that opportunity. It's a little too late for some of our parents. And, you know, we just need to accept that. The serenity prayer says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The wisdom to know the difference. Right? I'm actually arriving to pick up my homegirl. So I'm gonna pause there, but I just said all of that to say, really and truly, guys, that, you know, ultimately, who gave us these beliefs? Who told us what to believe? Who? Well, we have to begin to question, not like we just have to begin to question things and not just accept things for what they are, because the way that things are today, and it just because that's how it's always been. And I just said this at my job, because y'all, like, I strived so hard to get to the career that I'm in right now, and once I got there, it just wasn't it wasn't all that I had cracked it up to be. It hadn't been lately, right? And so I've just been trying to consistently tell myself to shift my perspective to a positive one, to a positive mindset, and stop trying to think and stop being so negative about the circumstance, because God has me here on his divine timing and for a reason. So as opposed to finding a reason to complain about it or finding the negative in it, I need to do the work to find out why I'm here, right? And so that's what I've done. And to shift my perspective, like, I get into the job and I have people that tell me, you know, that my energy is uplifting to them. And then you have those that's complacent and have been there in their seniority, and they're like, you're way too happy to be an orange vest, which means I'm a newbie. You're way too happy. You need to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how can you be upset at someone else's happiness, bro? You should seek to find that for yourself. And that's what religion sometimes does not allow people to do. And creating and establishing your own relationship with spirit and with God and with whomever it is that you choose to believe in is the top priority. Not to follow suit with a programming, but follow God's word and God's ways. Love and light, beautiful people.